largest democratic events results being known. 815 million people, 40 times the population of India is the electorate of India. And while Australia is aging, India is getting younger and younger. 550 million people under the age of 25, which is approximately 30 times the population of India. So when you talk about India, you talk about a scale which is unimaginable to most people who live in this beautiful city or who live in this great country. And because of this great demography, this great diversity, it takes a while to understand India, because India can be challenging and often confronting as well. But let me put it to you that there are few other countries in this region, few pairs of countries in our Indo-Pacific or Asia-Pacific region which have so much in common by way of both values and interests as Australia and India do today. In international relations, if you have common values, that's not often a sufficient enough reason for countries to get together or build a relationship, a partnership, or a strategic alliance together. But when interests and values match, there are no barriers. In fact, a puzzle that I put to my students is, can you think of a single major issue that the globe or our countries are faced with, wherein India and Australia have a zero-sum situation, i.e. the loss of India is the gain of Australia or vice versa? There is no single issue. You might have a difference in negotiating style, you may have a difference on tactics about how you address the question of, say, climate change, but essentially it's completely win-win. Whatever you do together will be good for both countries. Aussies within foreign policy or the strategic establishment often have say that we think of Britain for tradition, because that's the mother country, America for security, China for trade and continued economic success. And I say, true, Britain for tradition, America for security, China for trade, but India for the future. Because all these factors, whether it is the tradition of being a part of the Commonwealth or being influenced by the British, or security in one of the most uncertain regions in the world, or the economic relationship, all of them converge in India today. As China slows down, as people begin to have doubts about its foreign policy, as its behavior becomes more aggressive in this region, you have to build a relationship or partnership with India. Unfortunately, in the past, there have been factors which have cast a shadow on this relationship. During the Cold War, India and Australia were on different sides of the Cold War. India had a special relationship with the Soviet Union. Australia was part of the American military alliance. Similarly, Australia had a different policy on immigration. But today, given the fact that India and the United States have such a close relationship, the Cold War is over, Australia is much, much more multicultural than ever before. There is, as I said, a natural strategic convergence between these two great democracies. In the past, Australian businesses have felt that India is too difficult to break into. And indeed, there have been decisions which have proven to be short-sighted. ANZ pulled out of India, sold its properties to Standard Chartered, and is now going back, buying those properties or similar properties for 500 times of what they had sold them for. Telstra moved out thinking it's not really easy to do business. And as Peter Verghese often says, India does often try your patience. But remember one thing, that India always rewards the patient. So you can't do quick, easy deals with a Boshi-like kind figure that you could do in China. But once you actually are able to establish your presence in the Indian market, the opportunities are immense. Today, I would say, because you have the possibility of a more decisive government, decisive, stable government being in India in the next 10 days or so, government which is committed to reforming most sectors which are still heavily regulated, I tell you, and I tell everyone who's looking at the future, including the economists in this room, India is the land of opportunity.